Tafamidis and transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy by Hamzi Alamuddin.
So before diving into today's topic, we're going to talk about a more general phenomenon, which is cardiac amyloidosis. In this phenomenon, the proteins of our body are misfolded into amyloids, and these amyloids form fibers which are stored in various organs of our body, such as the heart, the nerves, and other tissues of the body. In the case of the heart, this phenomenon leads to less elasticity, leading to less pumping power and less volume for the blood to fill in. The consequences of these phenomena will lead to systole and diastole dysfunction, congestive heart failure, and ultimately death. Only 5% of the patients survive after 10 years from being diagnosed by this disease. Now let us describe the protein transthyretin, or TTR as an abbreviation. This protein is mainly produced in the liver, and its main function is to transport thyroxine and retinol, which is also vitamin A, through the blood. The protein is a tetramer, which means it's structurally formed of 4 identical monomers, as we can see in the figure on the right. Now today's disease, which is transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, is a disease caused by a specific type of cardiac amyloidosis mediated by the protein TTR, which we talked about. This disease can be triggered by 2 mechanisms: the hereditary type, which is linked to the gene encoding for the TTR. A mutation in that gene leads to the forming of a non-stable TTR structure, and as you can predict, this type can be passed down from parents into children. And the other type, which is wild type TTR amyloidosis, is mostly linked to old age, as most of its patients can be are over 80 years old. In this disease, the tetramer disassembles into misfolded monomers, and these misfolded monomers condense into the fibers. The deposition of these fibers in the cardiac tissue will lead to its thickening and the blockage of the heart's conduction system. And all these factors may lead to heart failure and other symptoms. Now, a huge 72.3% mortality rate was associated with this disease. Luckily, a new medicine called tafamidis was recently developed and approved for the treatment of the disease. This medicine has a high affinity for the binding site of TTR, which is usually preserved for the transportation for thyroxine and retinol. This medicine stabilizes the tetramer form of the protein and prevents its dissociation into monomers. And by doing this, it prevents all the other resulting consequences of the misfolding. A 2019 study demonstrated the efficiency of tafamidis on the treatment of ATTR-CM cases. A significantly lower 29.5% mortality rate was associated to the group whom were given tafamidis, compared to 42.9% to the group who were given placebos. It was also noticed that the rate of hospitalizations was also significantly lower. However, the disease still has its side effects, as lower physical activity and worsened overall quality of life was noticed in the subjects. Other possible applications of tafamidis are still currently under studies, as its wide mode of action can also help in curing other TTR-associated diseases. Thank you for watching.